Welcome to World History on a Page, Part 4. In the previous parts, we had drawn a diagram showing Europe and Western Asia from the old Babylonian Empire through the Roman Empire to near the present. Now we're going to draw the dynasties in Asia, and we're going to draw them along this space on the top. Later we'll do Americas and Africa at the bottom space. Because I didn't leave very much space there for you, I'm going to actually use a different sheet so you can see better, but you would be drawing yours on the same sheet. So we have to fold again. We fold it in the center to get our timeline, and then now we're folding one additional time so we get the extra lines that we're going to need. And then in this direction, folding to get our 1,000-year periods. I'll open this up, and here in part 4 we will draw the Chinese dynasties along the top crease there. I'm going to use the ruler this time to give myself a good ribbon to draw the dynasties inside of. Now with 1 AD there at the center, we're going to start way over here at the left. And as we get into 2000 BC, we have a dynasty called the Xia. It's spelled Xia because the spelling system I'm using, called the Pinyin system, uses the X to stand for a very gentle S. If you have a reference book that spells that sound with an HS, then you know they're using another system called the Wade-Giles system. The Xia is considered a legendary dynasty by some, but when we get to the next dynasty, the Shang, people agree that that was a historic dynasty, and that's starting in the 1700s BC. And by the time when we get here to the 1100s, we have the next dynasty called the Zhou. And now see again in this spelling system, ZH is the sound of J. As the Zhou progresses, the different parts within it split up into separate kingdoms. We have something called the Warring States period. That's when Confucius lived, and also Sun Tzu, who wrote The Art of War. And finally, one of those warring states beats all the others and unifies China for the first time into a very formal empire. That dynasty is called Qin, and in the Pinyin system, the CH sound is written as a Q. I'll write the complete name over here for your reference. The Qin dynasty. From that word, we get our word China. The Qin dynasty is when the Great Wall of China was put together for the first time, but it lasted for a short time, and then its place was taken, this is in the 200s, by the Han dynasty, which is from the 200s BC all the way to the 200s AD, with a slight slight interference there from another dynasty that temporarily took over. That dynasty is called the Xin. Now, after the Han dynasty ends, China breaks up again. There's several dynasties in the north, several different dynasties in the south, all the way until the late 500s, when China is reunified. The dynasty is called the Sui, and that is spelled S-U-I, Sui, in the system that we're using. That also is rather short, but then comes a longer one, the Tang dynasty, which lasts up to the 900s. Another short period where there are competing areas, and then it's reunified again in the 900s, and the dynasty is called the Sung. When the Sung gets into the 1100s, the northern half is taken away by an invasion from the north, a dynasty called the Jin, J-I-N. Both of those together then are attacked and conquered in the 1200s by the Mongols. They are also appear here on our European map. The Mongols in China take the name of Yuan Dynasty. That starts with a Y. The spelling is Y-U-A-N, Yuan Dynasty. That's the time of Kublai Khan. That's the time when Marco Polo made his visit to China. That lasted just under 100 years, and now there are only two dynasties left. From the 1300s to the 1600s, the Ming, and then the very last one is the Qing, Q-I-N-G. In 1911, the last dynasty, the Qing, is overthrown, and the Republic of China is formed, R-O-C. That eventually was led by Chiang Kai-shek. But in 1949, the communist military forces defeated the ROC. The ROC army and all the legislators of all of China all escaped to Taiwan, which continues as the ROC to this day. And then mainland China under communist rule is called the PRC, People's Republic of China. Even though it looks very small on the diagram, of course it is the largest country in the world population-wise. So that is our survey of the dynasties of China, and that will bring part 4 to an end. Thanks for sticking with me. And as a reminder for you, remember that all the details, all the dates are on my website, www.foundbytes, bytes.com, and click on Learn History.